Hello again, and welcome to Digital AG Studios and my tutorial on gesture drawing and shape drawing. So this is a continuation of last week's little tutorial on just creating a quick gesture drawing. So I'm going to be continuing that, but moving on to now the shape and form. So what I'm going to do is just start off with a quick gesture. So once again, it's usually good to have a reference photo to do your gesture on, and also spend a bit of time studying just the proportions of a body, so how many heads to a person's body and such. So I'm just going to start by, first of all, just making sure my pen's working good. Okay. And I'm just going to make a new layer in Photoshop here and call it gesture. And this will be for my gesture pose. So let's see, I'm just going to do a standard pose, so I get my leading line of action where my feet are going to be, and then the thickness of the body. Let's see where I want my arms and hands, okay, and head. And then I just check myself, so I check, okay, let's see, I can fit from the head size here, should go to where about the nipple, navel, to groin, to about halfway down the knee, to below the knee, shin, and then foot. So pretty good. Okay. And same with the arms. Get about halfway up the arm to the hands. That's good. Yeah. So now that I have my gesture and pose, it's meant to be as quick as possible. This way you can see if the pose works for you, if you like it or not, and you can make quick changes without spending too much time tracing out a figure. So the next step is creating the shape around your gesture. So if my shape, I usually block out regions of the body using things like cylinders or rectangles and cubes. So I can start with a torso shape here. And actually I'm just going to take my gesture and lower the opacity. And on the shape, I just define what the actual torso shape here. And once again, it's very rough. Probably won't even be able to tell what some of my shapes are. So I'll put little spheres for where the joints are. And just where the hip is. Even now, okay, I may have put that a bit too low, so let me raise that up. I'm just going to go to my eraser. This is another reason why I love using layers, this way I don't have to erase my original gestures. There we go. And then a cylinder for the leg. Sphere for the knee should be. And another sort of wedged cylinder for where the shin should be, and a nice little wedgie for the foot. And I'll do another one for the other leg. Sometimes after creating shapes for so long, you start to just blend it into what the real form will be. So it's a bit of practice as you start to get to know your human form, but it's still imperative that you take the time just to establish that basic form before getting into tracing out your final person or shape. Because things can go wrong, your sizes may be off, and then you spend more time doing fixes than actually painting. So here I can spend less time doing fixes because it's at such a rough stage, and I can get it the way I need it early on. I'm going to put a little wedge for the hand. Don't need to do fingers quite as yet, that comes at a later point. And same with the head, I just want So this top part for where the neck would go, and then I define my headpiece. Once again, very rough. This itself is almost still a gesture. And you get your basic shape of your person's body. So here I can just do a quick once over just to see if it's how well it stands up, how well I like the pose, maybe make some minor modifications. So maybe even just add in a little bit of extra detail, but not serious detail. I'm more just trying to make sure that the pose and the silhouette stand up. And also check your sizes. So make sure you have an image comparison. Double check that from the top of the head right to the groin should be the exact same distance from the groin to the bottom of the foot. So the exact half of the human body. Other things such as the arm should be that exact same length. So from the top of the head to the groin should be the exact same length as your arms. So using these quick measurements really help get a pose out really fast. That way you don't really need to spend time putting a ruler against things. Just use your eyes or your fingers and just do the quick measurements. After this, we're going to be moving on to refinements. So refining our pose. So still something to practice before we move on to that is going from gesture to shape and create as many shape drawings as you can. Just creating little wedges, circles, and even just cylinders for all the pieces of the body.